In both boxes, they were magnificent. Bayern played with fire throughout the whole game defensively. The way they're defending, the way they're passing the ball up. Credit Manchester City, they punished them when they made mistakes.
Do you know what as well? They forced Bayern into mistakes. We'll look at that later, I'm sure. But the way that they forced Bayern to make certain passes, to make certain decisions, especially in their own third, they were setting traps all over the park today. Some of the mistakes you see from the Bayern Munich players today, they were made by the way that this Manchester City team hunted and pressed them in packs. It was impressive, man, in so many ways.
Yeah, I think especially Upamecano and Summer, they struggled at times in the game. And I think Pep knew that. You know, the boys are right. You know, they closed down lanes, forced him to make risky passes, and I tell you what, it capitalised. And credit Pep, you know, he had a game plan and it worked beautifully.
We saw Kevin De Bruyne get pulled off the pitch. We weren't happy.
Yeah.
And that happens with players. Big player, he thinks he should be on the pitch all the time. They scored 2 goals instantly after that. Pep's going to walk in that change room and look at, say, listen, know what I'm doing.
No. You know what though? That third goal feels significant. I think we were talking, and at 2-0 it was like, oh, that's still a hard job to go to Germany. 3-0 just feels significantly different, doesn't it?
100%. Because it has to become an early goal. When you go into the away game now, Bayern will have to score in the first half, and they'll know that, and they'll have to set up a formation and a tactical approach that may not suit the players. And all of a sudden, you get to half-time, you're thinking with 3 goals behind you, still, it's difficult.
We'll make sure that you join us in a week's time out in Germany and see whether Bayern can do anything to overcome this. It feels like Manchester City have delivered a knockout blow to the German side, but we will find out what happens in a week's time. Talking of knockout blows.
Even how many times Diaz saved the ball? That sacrifice, he's opening leg like, you know, like a ballerina. I mean, you did it in the right position with the hands behind, because now everything is penalty. So that little things make all the difference in terms of the energy of the game. Haaland recovering the right moment. He made the right choice. He made the right fall, the right passes. And even Guardiola, to be honest. We were a little bit surprised when he substitute
no messing around in the
right?
Champions League. You have to do what you have to do for the team to win. Haaland ran 12K, and that tells you a lot in the game.
You know what else Haaland did tonight? Crossed the ball for a goal. Second goal, Micah.
Yeah, he did. And Jamie's man, Upamecano, had an absolute nightmare tonight, trying to play out. But just look at Grealish, anticipating, steals the ball off him, wonderful little back heel, and everyone's thinking he's going to shoot. To have the awareness to see the runner of Silva there was just excellent. But you see, Grealish here just looking for, can I go? He's just edging towards where, now he goes. He sees the danger, nicks it off him, composure, and then you see the run from here from Silva, just excellent. And Haaland's been in this sort of form. We mentioned on the show many times before about his hold-up play, and he could do a lot more. Thierry mentioned he ran 12K today, put a shift in for his team, and playing the right passes at the right time. And this was not just about individuals today, it was a team performance. And that's what Man City needed. They've been excellent over the last couple of weeks. And long may it continue.
If we're talking about Bayern Munich's performance, they got caught a few times, Jamie, trying to play out of the back.
Yeah, I mean, Upamecano, I mean, he just had a bad game. And listen, I've been a defender, Micah the same. We've all had games like this in our career, but at times he does panic and he's very rash. And for me, defending is about decision-making. And a lot of the times he finds himself in situations where he makes the wrong decision. We saw that earlier with the goalkeeper. Michael's just highlighted, obviously, the second goal. You see this situation here. He's just not quite sure what to do. He's not decisive enough in that position. And I think a big thing for any defender is we all make mistakes. How do you react to a mistake? And he reacted really poorly. Because you've got to get over it mentally. You have to. Otherwise, it's going to completely affect the rest of your game and your team. And that's the sorry thing that's happened to him and Bayern Munich tonight. He couldn't overcome those first couple of mistakes that he made, and the rest of his game just completely went then. And that's a big problem going forward for you as a defender, because, as I said, we've all had bad games defensively. We all make mistakes. The best defenders make mistakes. But when you make that mistake, you've just got to put it somewhere out of your head. You think about it when the game's finished. Don't let it affect the rest of the game. And that's why we probably all feel now Manchester City are virtually in the semi-final.
Do you think defending's a lot harder nowadays? And I'm not talking about tackling, because the clips that he's showing out there, he's trying to play out from the back. Yeah. So when you played at Liverpool, you was more defensive, structure, a lot deeper. Now, they're asking you to be playing on the ball.
I mean, these lads may not agree, but I think the way football has moved forward, you could argue that centre-back is maybe the toughest position to play, because you have to start the attacks, and if you make a mistake, you lose a goal. You have to play, certainly for the top teams, you have to be a centre-back now who has to play on the halfway line. You have to push up, push high. At times you get exposed 1v1. Before defenders, we all support, players in front, players behind, a deep block, certainly when I played. So when I look at what we ask centre-backs to do now, listen, it's completely different to when I played. But when you play for a top team, that's what it's expected of you. So, that is the name of the game. And that's why also, I just want to mention again later, the centre-back, or whether we can call him a centre-back or a midfield player, for Manchester City, John Stones was just out of this world, because in those situations, composure he shows under pressure to take the ball, to pass the ball, is absolutely outstanding. And in his role for me, in these last few weeks since the World Cup, he's been an absolute superstar.
So this tonight, by the way, was Erling Haaland's 26th appearance in the Champions League. In his first 25 games in the Champions League, he scored 33 goals. Who scored the next most?
Alex!
Nice. 90 goals. All right, let's look at the Haaland goal then. 3-0, Jamie, this one.
Yes, and this is the game that you feel like that kills the tie. It really does. But Haaland gets the goal, and I think it's a great finish, but initially, Manchester City do really well to recycle the ball, sustain the attack. But look at this from John Stones. A massive header. If he doesn't win that header, the game stays 2-0. We circle Haaland there. He does well to keep himself onside. And again, you see, he always goes to the back post. He's looking for the back post. As soon as the ball comes in, we see John Stones is onside. But now Haaland finds himself at that back post. It's a really good finish. It's on his so-called weaker foot. Just to control that into the corner, it's fantastic. But that leap from John Stones up against Pavard, he wanted it more than him, and it just summed his game up tonight more than anyone.
So that was his 11th goal in this Champions League season for Erling Haaland.
And also, before I interrupt, it's his...
Well, no, you did interrupt.
Yes, apologies.
As you interrupt, go ahead.
It's his 12th knockout goal, which means he's equal in the knockout stages with Mo Salah and Thierry Henry.
That's the Champions League for me?
No, 12 minutes.
No, but I'm really going to have to go back, and I will... sorry, because...
Well, I got interrupted, but go ahead now. We've changed track.
I have to go back to what Alan did off the ball. And I have to mention it again. You do not win a Champions League with someone walking on the field. You might get away with one. You might get away with murder. But everyone needs to run. And what Alan did today, forget about the back post goal and the cross. What he did off the ball was just very important for this team to go far in that competition.
I mean, watching at 1-0, you said Manchester City need another goal in this. Now, 3-0 down, do Bayern need a miracle to come back in this one?
Yeah, they need a miracle, because City will score 100%. Bayern are going to have to score 5 or 6 to win this time, definitely. Man City are too dangerous. And they can afford to be patient. Wait for them to come out on the counter-attack. Haaland in behind. I think the tie's over.
Ooh. Anybody feel differently? Back at the Allianz Arena?
You have to respect champions. I said it, I think Man City will win it. I think Man City still might and will go through. But you can't just go and say it's already done, and you have to respect the heart of a champion. And Bayern Munich have people like that. It looks unlikely for me, but you can't underestimate a champion or champions. And yes, Upamecano make these mistakes or whatever, but they can answer. I'm not saying they will, but I will not go to the extent of saying we're already through and stuff like that.
Well, I will get straight to the goal, because Rodri had to wait 44 Champions League games to get his first goal in this competition. It was worth the wait, wasn't it?
What a strike. I mean, we were in here going, oh my, like crazy. The way he just shifts this, it's fantastic feet. You don't associate him with skill on the edge of the box like that, but the way he took that on with his left foot and just whipped it into the top corner. I mean, the two Bayern players, Musiala and Kimmich, maybe could do more, but you can't take anything away from that. What a strike.
Yeah, definitely not. Musiala maybe can just delay him instead of him letting him to cut in, but as soon as he cuts in, he's only got one intention, and that's to put it right in the top corner, and it's a great execution.
Been a fabulous game. Two teams gone toe-to-toe, possession-wise, shots-wise, 50-50. Just an absolute moment of magic from Rodri, an absolute fabulous goal from a brilliantly consistent player. If he can add a goal like that, to his resume, then that is really, really special.
I think you say 50-50 between the two teams. It's that final part, isn't it? In the final third, having that bit of quality, and Man City have shown today they have that. Bayern are yet to show that in the final third.
Yeah, that's where Bayern have let themselves down slightly. I mean, their build-up play has been brilliant, and this is almost the best chance that we've got, which is this shot from Musiala. But they have still been excellent going forwards.
Look, not many teams can come to the Etihad and have more possession than City. Almost never happens. So they've had some good moments, but that is just a brilliant block from Diaz. Pep always talks about it, both boxes. You know, going the other way, they obviously had the goal from Rodri, and that is a brilliant block from
He's done the
Diaz.
splits. I'm sure the masseuse will be right into the groins.
And a crucial time. That was just before the goal was scored as well. Look, City were attacking the goal right behind us here, and there was a couple of shaky moments from the goalkeeper, wasn't there? We thought that maybe 1-0 was going to be 2-0.
Yeah, this decision here, I don't understand it. I don't understand why he feels the need to take it across his body and, more importantly, across the goal, especially when Haaland, who's so hungry and reads the game so well, determined to get there, and it's...
But Jordan, today the game we were talking about, the game's so much more about risks in your box. It's
unnecessary
crazy.
risks as well.
And it's like we were players that are in that position. Those risks were not taken. The game's changed so much.
Because it's strange, because that's an incident there that he would never forget if that goes in. No one's going to remember if he turns out across his goal and just passes through the centre half. And this one here, again, I don't know why he's deciding to catch that.
Some save, though, at the end.
It's a great save. Great save. He's been brilliant with his feet all night, but I don't know why he's not punching that.
The only person busier has been Thomas Tuchel. I've missed his constant movements on the touchline. He's looked quite frustrated, though, at times, hasn't he?
But I think he'll realise, like Reece said, in the final third of Bayern, a little bit more clinical. There's something there for them, but it feels like both teams are going to score again in that second half. I think City, brilliant goal from them, but it just feels like there's more to come from the game.
Absolutely. Well, look, you know, Bayern score goals almost every game this season. They've managed to...
Conditions here at the Etihad Stadium. I'm Derek Ray, here on the commentary position, joined by Lee Dixon to help me describe all the action, and without doubt a match with the potential to bring genuine excitement. It is Manchester City up against Bayern Munich.
Well, thank you, Derek. Glorious atmosphere here. Really looking forward to it. The fans are too. The players look like they're up for it. This could be end-to-end. We could get goals today, Derek.
Foden. The ball with Rodri. Gundogan. Going about his defensive business with a minimum of fuss. Not a poor ball, giving possession back to the opposition. And showing fine vision. Coman. Kevin De Bruyne, one of the complete midfield players in the modern game. Lee, what do you expect we'll see from him in this match?
Well, he plays the game as if the ball's his own. He lends it to other players. He's the glue between the team, between the different departments of the team, and he links everything together.
Can he put them in front? Joshua Kimmich. Lewandowski. Lewandowski. Will take it away. He won the ball. De Bruyne. And slipped through beautifully. Magnificent defending. Pavard. Well, a bad pass it was. In with a chance. And a goal! Now they've broken through. 1-0 here.
Well, here's the replay. He didn't panic, did he? Decent strike, good technique, bread and butter strike, really, but it's in the back of the net.
Slightly different vantage point in terms of the goal that was scored.